Welcome back. Final hour with Travis. I am the guest host today, still the prophet of fiction. I was just finishing a little explanation of how the Great Walls of China were built and why. Not pretty answers, but that's the best answers I know. Those walls, how long are they? Could they wrap around the planet once if they were all strung together? I forget the full length, but it's insane. And, well, the people in charge, I think they know their secret history. No doubt they do. And they're still at it. Now they're still making China a place with the most useless construction happening. The amount of construction that happened there in the last 30 years is mind-boggling, and much of it is useless. I was just listening today to, I think it's called the China Observer or China Observer, speculating and showing about how many apartments and office towers are empty. It's millions. And, well, it's a different game played this time. Millions of Chinese construction workers have willingly done this work, not caring who would live, if anyone would use whatever they built. They needed their paychecks. Life is not free anymore. They did what they had to do to feed their families, themselves. And they were paid by the real estate industry. Chinese people don't have so much options about where to invest their money. They don't have a big Wall Street. They have the real estate industry. So much Chinese money floods into real estate. That's what's responsible for creating this enormous real estate bubble. So big that when it goes, it will be more than the Chinese that feel it. Anyway, let's move on to part 5. The Industrial Revolution was a reset and a scam. In the late 1700s, probably for several reasons. I mentioned a couple, food source depletion, new technologies being developed by the aristocrats, technology specifically for us. Well, that reset was an extremely ambitious plan. It would involve making everyone except themselves dependent on non-free energies. And it would involve making land a commodity, something we pay for. And eventually it would make food, water, sometimes clean air, health, birth, everything not free. Everything, something that would make them rich and us busy, struggling, and often poor. They hid the evidence of their past crimes. Yes, they did this by turning all their large slaughterhouses and all their large kitchens and slaughterhouses into churches, synagogues, mosques, and other holy places. It wasn't too difficult. It involved filling or closing basements with full of skeletons and evidence of farming. Removing some of the tech they use to do their cooking, some simple electric infrastructure, repurposing the cookware into baptismal fonts, and creating holy narratives for us to explain their statues, so we can put names on them. Hey, that's Joseph, and that's Mary holding Jesus. I just did a little lecture on statues of Mary holding Jesus, baby Jesus, and Mary holding dead Jesus. In both statues, she is about 20 years old. Even though in the second statue holding her dead child, she should be in her 50s at least. There's another truth behind our churches, history. They wrote all our books for us. I've written more than anyone else on that subject. Every book, all the so-called classics, all the scriptures from whatever corner of whatever continent, or whatever religion, all our folklore. Amazing, isn't it? They probably did it over a few decades. They had people, they had resources. This is not impossible for them to produce libraries full of fake literature. And so many of us are still digging through it, dreaming that there's wisdom in it and truth in it. Alas. And as I said, they built the megalithic sites outside their colonial and other cities. They built them to create very profitable tourism industry and to distract us from the best evidence their crimes, which is in cities, not outside on the mountains, not in the deserts where we find our pyramids. No, those are all distractions. Amazing how much energy they invested into deceiving us. They had nothing better to do. They rewrote Native history I suspect they even planted native tribes, raised secretly in underground complexes, gave them just enough technology to survive wherever they put them, even up in the Arctic. Yes, to create that illusion that we were always hunters, and maybe to prepare for the current time when they wish to strip land from us and give it back to the native people who they will control through the globalist organizations, the United Nations. Yeah, all that land people worked for. Suddenly, poof, have to give it back. Yes, we were guilty, weren't we? What? All a scam. Well, we are now voluntary slaves, reset of the Industrial Revolution. Still in many ways, we are still free energy, free matter, free bodies for the ruling class. And things are not looking so good. Won't be the first to say that on RBN. Health is declining, real wealth is declining, leisure and happiness are vanishing, families are vanishing, prices are rising faster than incomes. And this doesn't even address the enormous fraud being committed by the banking industry through all their tricks, fractional reserve use, banking, usury, fiat currency creation. Let's not forget the enormous fraud being committed by militaries, waging fake wars, building fake nuclear bombs, overpriced weapons, and aircraft carriers, fighter jets that will never drop real bombs, never wage real wars. Yeah, it's the Great Walls of China all over again. Now in America. And the enormous fraud of the energy industry. Well, that's topical now. Talking about free energy. Pay sometimes an arm and a leg for our energy. There's some evidence that oil is abundant. The scarcity narrative exists only to raise prices and to eventually tell us we must stop using oil. As for electricity, I think it's like water. We can't use it up. It moves through rivers. It turns water mills. We don't use it up when we make it turn our mills. So electricity is the same. It moves through our grids in circles. Circulates like water through the water cycle. Extra electricity must be generated, admittedly, but only because electricity is constantly leaking out of the system, out of outlets as dirty electricity, out of many other points along the grid. So, really, electricity costs are unnecessarily high. It should be virtually, nearly free. As for nuclear power plants, it's another money-making fraud. I suspect they merely store the excess electricity generated at night, storing that energy in the form of hot water that will turn turbines and generate fresh electricity as morning approaches. When demand for electricity rises again, billions of dollars are wasted on those giant tea kettles. Part 6, the second reset. One, I suppose, we are perhaps living through or seeing the beginnings of. Yes, now they want us to stop using oil, use generally less energy, not just oil, of course, fossil fuels in general. They want everything to be electric, digital, because that will give them more control over everything. Every car, every appliance, light bulb. I just saw a little presentation about what Ford is doing with its new cars and trucks. They will be surveillance cells on wheels, reporting, sharing data with insurance companies. And if they see that we are not in the right state of mind, if they decide that from, I suppose, our pupils and facial expressions, we won't be going anywhere. Maybe we will. Maybe the vehicle will take us somewhere, you can guess. Yeah, well, they want to sell us mini nuclear power plants, solar power. That's so expensive and non-sustainable. Wind power, what a joke. Have you seen those toys all over the land? Those blades, do they seriously expect us to believe that serious engineers developed those narrow blades? Are they supposed to catch wind, really? Mockery of free energy technologies that once existed. It'd be better to go back to the old windmills and water mills. And, hydraulic power. I think someone shared the link to a couple of videos about the hydraulic power that once existed, was once used, clean energy to turn turbines, water pressure. Yes, they dismantled all that in the name of reset. They want us to have clean energy, not local forms of energy. They wanted everything centralized. Oil was good for that. You and I can't dig oil wells and build oil refineries. But to build a turbine powered by water pressure, we might be able to do that. Well, not me personally, but it would be much easier. So we can't have that. It's the same in medicine. You can't grow your own medicine, or couldn't. Cannabis and other plants from the forests, mostly. No, everything was replaced with fossil fuel-based, laboratory-made medicines, and we were made to believe that those were the best for us. We weren't given the seeds we need to grow our own medicine. So life got very expensive and highly controlled. Excuse me. Well, now communitarianism, big word. Communism with a twist, being used to promote the idea that we can save the world, living in smart cities, following laws that subsume individual rights to group rights, I wouldn't mind, really, if those group rights were intelligent rights. But they aren't. They will be based on lies, fear, paranoia, based on irrational lies. For example, the climate change lie. You certainly have climate problems, as I've also discussed in a recent lecture. But it's not about carbon dioxide. That is not the cause. Silly lie. Easily exposed. But people believe it. Scientists say so, say it's true. Well, scientists will say just about anything for money. They're no different from the rest of us. And they probably see no harm in their lives. Little do they know. Trees, actually have to go back to trees. Trees is the real problem. Absence, deforestation, absence of trees. And cities create the illusion that the climate really is changing a lot. You know, the bigger a city grows, the more temperatures rise, daytime temperatures. Well, cities are little deserts, really. Stone and glass. Stone and glass. Unlike forests, which moderate temperatures, city temperatures are daytime and summer. It's unbearable sometimes. I go back to China. I do have some connections to China. Beijing temperatures rising into the 40s, 40 Celsius for, what's that, in the 120 Fahrenheit, something of that order. It's not normal for that latitude and location near the ocean. Not normal, but it's what you can expect in a large city. And how many of our temperature monitoring equipment, how much of it is located in cities or near cities? Far too much. They don't give a clear or a fair or true indication of what's happening on our planet. And at night, as happens in deserts, temperatures plummet. So here I am. I'm in a place I would say is semi-forested, really near semi-desert, just outside of Oaxaca City. And daytime temperatures, often in the high 20s. In the city, it will be low 30s. At night, you get quite a steep fall down to the, I forgot, my audience is mostly American. I'm not so good with Fahrenheit. But significant declines during the evening. 15 degrees Celsius, 10, quite common in the late evenings. What is that in Fahrenheit? 70s, 60s. There's quite a fluctuation due to the absence of trees. Now, during my lecture on a climate hoax, I noticed a map that charts average temperatures around the world. The average temperature of the Congo jungle is the same as the average temperature of the Sahara. Well, they're nearly on the same latitude. The close. But that seems rather strange to most people. Desert temperatures are much higher in the daytime than jungle temperatures, but they are much lower at night than jungle temperatures. So this is a problem for anyone that wants to live in a place without trees. And to get back to energy, you need a lot of energy to create a comfortable and indoor environment without trees or energy wasted. And the tree problem is primarily responsible for droughts. The droughts plaguing just about every country I know. Trees, surprisingly, don't just grow where rain falls. No, rain falls where trees grow. It's a symbiotic relationship. Trees release, I believe it's bacteria that float up into the upper atmosphere, causing water vapor to crystallize and to form raindrops. Yes, it's not carbon dioxide that's raising temperatures and causing droughts. It is trees, but the powers that be don't want trees. They don't want forests back. They prefer to use their lives to depopulate us and control us, shove us into smart cities. And yes, that's they'll convince most of us, they have convinced most of us to be good global community citizens, communitarians. Must burn less fuel, use less energy. Yeah, there will be parallels for anyone interested in comparing COVID, wearing masks, be a good citizen, take your vaccine, be a good citizen, protect others from nothing. Do harm to yourself as you're trying to save the planet and save your grandmother. It's sad. As the Bible says, my people die for lack of knowledge. Yes, that was true, thank you, Bible. But, of course, the Bible doesn't give us any of the knowledge we need. So it was it's another joke. Schools, news media, movies are promoting the idea that to be responsible citizens, we must also give away the land we paid for to wildlife restoration programs or to native peoples who lost their traditions long ago.
When they walk back, they sing through the forest.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Tehibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit drinksupertea.com. The first word is drink, spelled D-R-I-N-K, then the word super, then the word tea. The complete website is drinksupertea.com. Or call us at 818-965-9113, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-965-9113, drinksupertea.com.
People often write to tell us what has happened for them since starting Extendivite. Allow me to read a few. After taking Extendivite for about 6 months, I've noticed improvement on the numbness of my hands and wrists from the carpal tunnel syndrome. I will continue to buy product. This formula is very powerful. I am feeling much better. My heart rate and blood pressure is stabilized, my lower edema has reduced, and lower leg pain due to blood clots has disappeared. This product has relieved what appears to be an angina problem, pain in the chest after climbing stairs, and short on breath. I'm quite happy about it. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit extendivite.com. That's XTENDOVITE.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey there, are you going to wait till the cows come home to get your new ease-off drop-and lift?
What in the world is an ease-off drop-and lift?
Our ease-off is a new tool to increase production for your meat processing company that will get that whole hog or half a beef on or off your rail with our remote control.
That sounds great, but can I afford it?
Sure, and the ease-off installs fast. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue, speed up your line, and increase profits.
Okay, I'm convinced. Where can I get my ease-off?
Go to easeoff.com. That's EAZEOFF.com. And hurry, because we're offering free shipping for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows, too.
Ease-off, LLC, 417-932-6419.
I'm so excited to have you as part of the Wild Pastures family, and we look forward to bringing you the pasture-raised meats that you and your family will love. Now, we started Wild Pastures because so many of my clients would tell me they just couldn't find high-quality pasture-raised meats, and even when they did, it was so expensive that they couldn't afford to eat it regularly. Now, I'm not talking about the bottom-of-the-barrel healthy meats that have claims like natural or free-range or even cage-free, terms that were actually created by the industrial food industry to make us feel all warm and fuzzy about buying their low-quality products. I'm talking about truly nourishing pasture-raised meats, the kind that you'll never really find in a grocery store. Our farmers are doing things beyond organic. Our beef is 100% grass-fed and grass-finished and raised on pastures free from chemicals and other pesticides. Our chickens are 100% pasture-raised, where they get their natural diet of grass and forage and insects. We will never settle for free range, which is actually one of the most deceptive terms in the chicken industry. In fact, less than 0.1% of the chicken consumed in the United States is truly pasture-raised in the way that ours is. And our pork is 100% pasture-raised as well. So if you care about where your food comes from, then you have definitely made it to the right place. As a Wild Pastures member, you'll be supporting the most highly principled farmers in America and getting the most nutrient-dense, nourishing, and sustainable meats in the world. I'm confident you'll love being part of our mission at Wild Pastures, and you will really love the delicious, nourishing meats that we're going to deliver straight to your door.
Visit republicbroadcasting.org and click the Wild Pastures banner ad. Secure a shipment today. Beef, poultry, and pork, raised the way nature intended.
Magisaga bariku kwa kone inga kone hariku kone kukwa kone magisaga kone mogome aru bariko na inga tokona ke otunaija janna bari burukwe kone inga kone ke kone ija kone burukwe kone kana inga kana magisaga bariko bari haritu bari kukwa bari tu inga kone magisaga kone kukwa kone hariku kone kukwa kone ka kone
Back. I jumped the gun earlier. Too eager. It's nice music. It's free music in a way. It's zero tech music, just voice. Lovely stuff. What was I talking about? So many things. Too many things, maybe. About the brainwashing that's happening in schools, through our news, media, movies, connecting that to land issues, the Agenda 21 plan to rewild much of North America and give back land to Native peoples who, as I said, lost their traditions long ago. And if we believe conventional history of North American natives, well, apparently most of them depended on the three sisters, corn, squash, and beans. But I don't see any Native tribes interested, not many who are interested in reviving that agricultural tradition. Mostly it's about losing access to fishing waters, hunting grounds. No, farming doesn't quite interest them anymore. I once suggested that could take care of themselves like the Amish if they took farming seriously. The Amish seemed quite independent, relatively stable, relatively happy compared to so many of the natives living on our reservations. But no, that solution doesn't appeal to them. And it's curious. They're also absolutely not interested in creating food-bearing forests for themselves. Don't hear anything about that. But anyway, let's see if I can package everything in the last 20 minutes. Schools, news media, movies are also promoting the ideas that we must use less energy, live inside. Smart cities, not connect our identity with the place we live in. I do read the books our students have to read. I do teach privately. It is it is so transparent what they're trying to do. Many of these books now are allegedly written by Native peoples and are about their struggles. I don't think they're written by them even. So much literature is being written secretly by secret agencies, and people are paid off to pretend to be the authors. And frankly, it's ridiculous, especially in North America, where so many of our students are actually immigrants who haven't seen a Native person in their lives. Well, strange world for them. As this new tech is being introduced to surveil and track us, it's packaged, of course, in lovely cell phones, providing us all the entertainment we could ever dream of, and all the conveniences, I suppose. Order your food, get it delivered by, what are they called? By air. Meanwhile, the low-tech infrastructure is rotting beneath our feet. Streets, plumbing, sewage, bridges. I think it was 35 years ago I'd already read a book about this issue. It was rearing its head in the U.S. Canada is not immune. Toronto is effectively still in the 1950s. China is far ahead, but who knows? Like I said, there's no one living and using some of their infrastructure. Smart cities. A few thoughts on that. Of course, it's ironic. Of course, these are stupid things imaginable. Smart cities, among other things, is an acronym for at least 4 sets of words. Amazingly clever people. One set of words for this acronym, SMART, is Secret Militarized Armaments in Residential Technology. I suppose that refers to tracking tech, surveillance tech, and perhaps also to crowd control tech. Who knows? I'm no expert on what's happening with 5G and what's possible with other 5, 6G, whatever G tech they have out there. I've heard rumors. Wouldn't put it past them to start cooking people slowly, too slow for us to notice until bodies stop working properly and doctors say, hey, take this medicine. Curiously, also, the word smart already contains a negative association due to its use as an adjective. That means hurts. As in, that's smart. That's smart. I don't think that usage is very common anymore, but people used to say that, hey, that's smart. Yeah. We used to associate pain with lessons and teachings. That'll teach you, used to say. Well, cities are already smarting. Cities have swallowed up humanity, while agriculture has swallowed up forests, meadows, and grasslands. But in accordance with Agenda 21, the criminal elites want to rewild. Why? Because they know their depopulation agenda is working. I just saw a some things about China's population being grossly inflated. And, well, yes, our population is very likely shrinking, and their population is probably secretly growing. If you're into flat Earth theory, it's very likely that there are large islands in the Pacific that we don't know about. So why not eliminate agricultural land? Maybe they don't want livestock raised on toxic fodder. Maybe they want to eat wild game again. What will we eat if agricultural land is eliminated? They wouldn't do that, would they? And it looks inevitable because the real climate problem, mounting droughts, shrinking water reserves in our aquifers. But they'll tell us we can grow all our food on rooftops, in abandoned office towers, in inner city community communal gardens. They'll say it will be beautiful. Yes, we'll have green cities. Right. All your needs will be served within 15-minute walking distance. Certainly has its pros, even its appeal. But it's still a prison. Be voluntary prisoners, feeding yourselves, and probably being as sick as ever. Part 7, what are we going to do? Indeed. We could dream the Tartarian dream. Imagine going back. That imaginary, wonderful world of free energy technologies, free and clean. Machines directly powered by natural forces. Mills powered by wind and rivers. Machines powered by hydraulics. Stone cookware heated with magnifying lens. Airships. Oh, those airships. And that, life would be so safe in airships. No traffic jams. Electric cars powered by ether rather than batteries. I think they existed once upon a time. Early 19th century. Before the Rockefellers took the blame for forcing us to become dependent on fossil fuels and machines that burn them. Expensive stuff. Yeah. Or perhaps we could power our vehicles with good compost, biofuel, produce it all in our backyards, instead of using that compost to enrich our dying soil. And water purification plants could be turned into water purifying aquaculture operations that also produce food and fertilizer. Sounds good. Well, the ruling class will not permit us to have these low-tech or good-tech solutions. Will not happen. I really don't think so. That's what's good for them is not good for us. And honestly, that's fine with me. I'm convinced we can live better without any tech, tropical, semi-tropical environments. Simple living. But, yeah, that doesn't mean our minds have to be simple. I think our minds need developing, not our technologies. Neglected our minds too long. We hit the gyms and do our walks and exercises for our bodies. I think the time is coming when we'll realize we will not be an intelligent species until we do mental exercises too. Excuse me. To understand the benefits of zero-tech living, let's look at what happened to our energy and matter. Technology has turned humans into passive, sedentary blobs. It's one of the reasons we're so sick. It's not only toxic products entering us. Lack of movement is not allowing our lymphatic system to keep lymphatic fluid moving through our kidneys, I believe it is. So they're not able to do their work, and toxins accumulate more quickly than they need to. Got to be active. So that's the problem, whether you have clean, free energy tech or dirty, expensive tech. Frog in my throat. Just overcome a long, drawn-out detoxing event, I think triggered by toxic dental products. Go figure. Hard to stay clean. Anyway, I don't dream about technologies that use free energy. I dream about humans having energy again, the physical energy to walk, run, climb, garden, landscape, build homes, play with children. There's precious little of that happening now. Most people rather pay to have a machine throw their children around through the air than play with their own children. But I also hope that we develop our mental energy to think. Really, everything hinges on us developing our ability to think. We can be as angry as we want. We can see the problems as clearly as we wish, but without thinking, we won't get anywhere. Transitions will be too difficult. Underlying problems will not be visible. This brings me back to the idea that I think very common misconception among about everyone that people will wake up if someone just reveals a few truths to them, if they just read one book or see a movie, listen to a documentary, or just, a few proverbs could do it. This proverb, this fact, this data will wake you up. No, my experience is that could simply make people angry about the world they live in. Doesn't develop the mental fitness they need to really become intelligent beings, able to live different ways and not repeat the mistakes of the past. Everything hinges on thinking and mental fitness, I like to say, not mental health. I'm a bit of a fitness fanatic, physical and mental. Mostly immune to fear and anger. Mostly. No one is perfect. So I hope in the future we can all learn to question anything and everything, laugh at ourselves. Oh, gosh. That is so lacking. People have become so sensitive. The least things, the least little perceived insults. To be creative, not just consumers, but creators of, well, not just little videos, but creators of a new world. Live without fear, without need for superstitions, even without hope. Who needs hope when you have good plans? Just be active, work on those plans. If they fail, they fail. No need to invest hope in it and then be sad when things don't work out. Get it. Just do it. Silly now, isn't it? Anyway, this concludes my free lecture. Probably invested more energy in these ideas than anyone has ever invested in any ideas. 20 years of and more work. I hope it energizes everyone. And, well, let's all have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Oh, well, yeah, still have a minute. Hard to time this perfectly. Let's see. Yeah, okay, bye for Travis. He's a very busy man, I've heard. I consider myself lucky. Present, lots of time on my hands, lots of energy. Keeping busy on my online presence, with my online presence, posting. I hope you do visit, see what else I have to offer. Although tonight's presentation has been far-ranging, has touched on many of my books and chapters. Yeah, it's been good. I hope to be back and present lots of other material. I do have a lot more to share. Wishing everyone a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are.
My name is John. I'm the founder of Blackout Coffee, and I started Blackout because I really love coffee. I've always loved coffee, and traveling so much to Europe, South America, and trying so many different coffees that were so good. And every time I came back to the U.S., I was so disappointed with the coffee, so I figured that I had to do something about it. The biggest difference is on the beans and the roasting process, how we roast it, and how fresh it is. The fresher the roast, the better the quality. Here I have like all of the coffee. It's roasted within 1 to 2 days prior to being shipped. So it literally gets to consumer's house within 3 to 5 days after being roasted. If you like coffee, you have to try ours. It's fresh roasted. It's one of the best beans that we can get, and you will definitely see the difference.
Visit blackoutcoffee.com and use the coupon code REPUB10. That's REPUB10.
You're listening to Real Talk Radio, only on the Republic Broadcasting Network.